Hello friends, here we are back again with the CSL and the University of Nebraska at Lincoln against South Dakota State University. They are currently tied at 1-1 with South Dakota taking the first match in dual site with the Protoss WVG taking down the Terran of Bronyor. And then in the second game we had the 2v2 on the ruins of Tarsonis with the Protoss Terran team of South Dakota State losing to the fast-rushing Terran Zerg of the Huskers. Now here we have the Red Terran, JDIRVIN, however you want to pronounce that. I'm just going to call him the Husker because he's there in his school colors, the red, and the Red Terran. And then here in his blue team colors is inside the light blue Protoss for the Jackrabbits. We'll get started. So we're sitting at 1-1 here, and we're on Ttesports, which is a very interesting map. You have the three completely different looking zones. You have the grass, you have the sand, and you have the Metalopolis look or whatever. There they have a little bit of trolling going on there, just having a fun time, calling each other jerks there, just having a good time. We're all college students here. The CSL is an amazing StarCraft league, which is all college students, as I've said before, which is brought to you by Twitchtv and Ttesports by Thermaltake. Looks like we have a slight lead right now, the Protoss, because he's getting down his probe lead and all that kind of stuff. They're exactly even. You got his Chrono Boost there, but if you use it right away, then you end up getting fly blocked slightly. So you wait until you get that first pylon down before you do it. And see there, he's starting his wall off there with his first supply depot, putting it right out front there, and then it looks like he's going to go ahead and get an early scout in for our Husker. It looks like Inside's going to go ahead and put down his first gateway, and it looks like he's going to send his probe out to scout as well. It looks like the probe is going to find the Terran first, as it looks like our Husker is going to go ahead and look north in the grassy lands and find nothing. There, our Red Terran is going to go get his refinery, along with our Protoss getting his assimilator at a similar time. Both keeping up with their probe and SEV production. Getting his second pylon. And there's that probe getting a scout, seeing what his Terran enemy is up to. He's putting his barracks back there. It's an interesting place, but I guess if you want to somehow try to hide it, probe go ahead and scouting everywhere as our Terran buddy finally finds the Protoss base as he's just putting down a cybernetics core and seeing a very standard startup build. Lots of clicking, I guess, to keep his SCV working, and he's going to steal a little bit of minerals there. Well, his probe is going to go ahead and get a assimilator stealing the gas right after the orbital command finish for our Terran, and then get the heck out of Dodge, as it looks like that Marine's going to go ahead and try to clean that up. We'll find out if he decides to cancel that or not. As the cybernetics core finishes, he produces a stalker and immediately getting that warp gate. Well, it looks like that SCV is still there, trying to get that stalker out as fast as he can with that Chrono Boost, and it looks like he let that finish. Those Marines will clean that up here in no time. Getting another pylon down there as he Chrono Boost. He's got the stalker out now to deal with any more SCV scouts that try to come out, as long as the assimilator finishing right on time there. He'll plan to go throw some probes in there at any minute. Well, this probe looks like he's going to take his journey on home, or maybe he's looking to, but no, maybe not. He's got his early robotics bay here, going immediately from first gateway to robotics bay. Well, his assimilator is still giving this guy a hard time, and he finally gets it down to get down his refinery and get it going. Well, it looks like he is going for a factory with a tech lab, and then immediately with the starport, completing his wall off with supply depots. I don't know what that SCV is doing over there, along with this sneaky... Oh, he looks like he's going to try to poke him with the stalker and find out that it's probably not a smart idea to look up there, as there are three... Oh, it looks like the stalker's got that outrange. He won't be able to get him. And he gets a good Marine kill, and it looks like they can't do a whole lot. Here's that SCV decides to go ahead and sit over there by the Zelnaga watchtower, and it looks like our Protoss has decided to get that warp gate down and get an observer right away. It looks like he wants to get that information because he has not much clue what his opponent is doing. There's a swap round. It looks like he's going to go for some Banshee play, possibly. Oh, it looks like a Raven, an early Raven, along with Siege Tank. Looks like everybody wants detection in this game as we have this observer popping out and another couple of gateways here. Neither of them expanding yet, as we might see them do so soon. A group of 5 Marines. He thinks that'll be enough to go against this team of this army of the Jackrabbits they have here. An extra couple of barracks, it looks like, and finally getting out his first Raven along with his tank working. And our response so far is he's getting out an Immortal, which will work well against those tanks. There he's trying to get scouting information, immediately taken out by the 2 sentries that'll block off it, and then the Stalker warping in another Zealot there. There's that Banshee coming out after the Raven. And there's his first siege tank out. It looks like immediately get another one, which is always a good idea. No siege tank yet. Looks like he's producing 3 Marines at the time now, and along with the tank and the Banshee. And it looks like this guy is definitely wanting to get some Immortals out. Looks like the Jackrabbits want to have some Immortals. Not a bad idea, especially with those tanks. They'll deal with them nicely. And I understand as a Protoss player myself that Terran like to get the Marauders, which they are handled pretty well by those Immortals. And then he decides to warp in 4 Zealots. This is his next round of warp in. Still having this probe out here for any information if they decide to move out or not. He still can't see if they expand, but he'll know if he moves out. And it looks like both players again sitting in their base. Not a whole lot of forward action if they're gonna attack at each other very quickly here. There's another warp in, getting another extra sentry there, and 2 Stalkers it looks like. There he's got 1 Banshee. Another Banshee just came out. Finally getting siege tech. No cloak for the Banshees, but that's understandable now. This late in the game, the detection is pretty easily found by. He's got plenty of SCVs here. It looks like that is well saturated, probably oversaturated. Along with over here, these probes don't know a whole lot to do. They probably could use to expand right now, but it might be just a 1 base thing. He's got a bunch of army. They took out that SCV that was holding the Zelnaga, possibly, it looks like. Along with, they have a forward pylon here, but a whole lot that's going to do is not a whole lot closer. Here you got this probe here, looking to see if he's going to take his 3rd when he hasn't even taken expansion yet. As we can see, the siege tech finally finishing up, as it looks like our Protoss gets a whole slew of more of pylons finished warping in. Along with one here that is natural, he might finally think about expanding as he's got, decides to get a whole warp in of units and possibly go in an attack here. He's got 3 Immortals to handle with these, and it looks like they're both going to go at each other at the same time. He takes out that probe. Along with SCVs, this looks like he's just ready to go all in, but of course he has a whole lot of extra SCVs, so we'll see how that works. Here comes the engagement. I don't know how this is going to work. He's got the SCVs to take the damage, and the Zealots take the damage. They're all sieged up. And it looks like he's enough to push back the Jackrabbits, and it looks like these siege tanks are just too much, along with the 26 Marines. There he warps in 4 more Zealots. I don't know if that's going to be enough, though, as he might be able to swing right around. Nope, he'll hold up there, but I don't know if there's a whole lot more this Protoss can do. He just doesn't have the production facilities to handle this right now. There, they took out that 1 lone SCV, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. There he's slowly working around, moving 1 siege tank forward at a time, which is a good idea. Going ahead and using that Guardian shield against it doesn't look like it's doing a whole lot of good until he takes his engagement, see if he can't get around to take out those siege tanks, but it might just be just too much. As you can see here, it is just, those Immortals are doing the number, but it just looks like there's just too many Marines, but it's taking out a lofty amount out of the Huskers army, but there goes that Immortal, and it looks like there's a warp in of Zealots, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. There it is. There's the GG. Well played. Well, folks, it looks like the Huskers go ahead and go up 2-1 with this win here, which is a very, very conservative one-base play from both players, and they had a whole bunch of SCVs and probes to deal with those one bases, and they had a little bit extra money left over, but hey, it was a good game all around, and until next time, God bless.